Here is part 2 to Dr. Doom, Bebop, and Firelord Azula. We'll see who comes out on top this time. So for their starting hands, Dr. Doom has Carnage, Vibrant Cityscape, Hobgoblin, Cosmic Cube, Swamp, Sulphur Falls, Dr. Doom. Bebop and Rocksteady have Forest, Michelangelo, Forest, Swamp, Regrowth, and Michelangelo. And Firelord Azula, we've got Island, Swamp, Day of Black Sun, Zuko's Conviction, Island, Agnaquel, and the Blue Spirit. Dr. Doom won the roll-off, so he's going to go first, drawing into a swamp. We're going to start with playing a Vibrant Cityscape. We have no 1-drop, so we will tap and sack it, and we will look for a mountain. So we found a mountain that will go onto the battlefield tapped. And then we will pass the turn to Bebop and Rocksteady, who will draw into a manhole cover. I think we will play a forest. Once again, no one drops. So we'll pass the turn to Azula, who will draw into Desperate Plea. We're going to play Agnaquel. It comes into play tapped. Unless we control a basic land. So I guess I could have played it later. But we've got no 1-drops anyway. So we will pass the turn to Dr. Doom, who will draw into an island. So we're going to play a swamp. Then we're going to tap a mountain and a swamp. One for a red to bring out Hobgoblin, Mantled Marauder. So he's got Flying and Haste, and whenever you discard a card, he gets +2/+0 till end of turn. So we're going to go to combat. We're going to tap Hobgoblin to attack, and we will attack Rocksteady. Rocksteady takes the 1. We will pass the turn to Rocksteady. Or Bebop. Draw into Study the Classics. We will play a swamp. And we will tap Swamp and Forest. And we will play Michelangelo Weirdness to 11. When Michelangelo enters, we're going to create a mutagen token. And if 1 or more +1 counters would be put on a creature we control, that many +1/+1 counters are put on it instead. Then we will pass the turn to Azula, who will draw into a swamp. We're going to play the swamp. Still have nothing that we can play right now. So we will pass the turn to Doom, who will draw into a Thought Vessel. So we're going to play Sulphur Falls. We have a mountain, so it's not going to enter tapped. And we're going to tap 2 for the Thought Vessel. So we have no maximum hand size, and we could tap it for a mana. I think we're going to tap Hobgoblin again, which I just untapped because I forgot. And we'll have him go at Bebop again. So that is 1 in the air. Then we'll pass the turn to Bebop and Rocksteady, who will draw into Lord Dreg, Insect Invader. We're going to play a forest. Then we're going to tap 3. And we're going to cast Bebop and Rocksteady. So whenever Bebop and Rocksteady attack or block, we're going to sack a permanent unless we discard a card. Then maybe we'll tap Michelangelo Weirdness to 11 in combat, and I'll throw it right back at Doom. Doom has no blockers at the moment, so they'll take the 1. And we'll pass it to Firelord Azula, who will draw into an island. Azula is going to play the island. Still nothing for Azula. So we're going to pass the turn to Doom, who will untap, upkeep, draw into Typhoid Mary, Fractured. I think we're going to play an island. And then we're going to tap 3. 1 being a blue, or sorry, yeah, 1 is being a blue, but 1 being a red, 1 being a black for Typhoid Mary, Fractured. When she attacks, we're going to choose 1 at random. If we discarded a card this turn, we could choose 1 instead. So she could create a treasure token or draw a card, or each opponent loses 2 life and we gain 2 life. I don't think we'll do an attack right now. So we will pass the turn to Bebop and Rocksteady, who will draw into Ground Chuck and Dirtbag. We're going to play a forest. Then we're going to tap 4, 1 being a black. And we're going to cast Lord Dreg, Insect Invader. So he's got flying. And at the beginning of our end step, if a permanent left the battlefield under our control, this turn, we're going to create a 1/1 black insect warrior creature token with flying. We can also pay 3 and a green to sack a token and draw a card. So we're going to go to combat. I think we're going to attack with Bebop and Rocksteady, and we will attack Doom. On attack, we're going to sack the mutagen token. And I think Dr. Doom will... I like Hobgoblin. I like Typhoid Mary too. I don't want that damage getting through. Or would I take it? You know what? Let's take the 7 damage this time around. So 7 damage to Doom. So that's commander damage. Ouch. So we'll go to the end step. And a permanent left the battlefield, so we will create a 1/1 insect warrior. That'll be good for constant generation to keep sacking things and attacking. So we're going to pass the turn to Azula, who will draw into Edia Kramer. I think we're going to play a swamp. And we're going to pass the turn. So we'll pass the turn to Doom, who will draw into Trickster's Stratagem. I think we're going to play Swamp. And then let's pay 4. Blue, black, red, and whatever. And we'll bring out Dr. Doom, King of Latveria. So whenever we discard 1 or more land cards, each opponent will lose 2 life. And at the beginning of combat on our turn, target villain we control gains menace until end of turn, and it connives. So we're going to go to combat. We will connive, and let's target Typhoid Mary. So she's going to connive, and she has menace, so we'll draw into Titania, Proud Pummeler. And we're going to discard Trickster's Stratagem. So we'll give a +1 counter to Typhoid Mary. Hobgoblin will also trigger because we discarded a card. He gets +2/+0 till end of turn. And let's attack with Typhoid Mary and Hobgoblin. Yeah, let's attack with Typhoid Mary and Hobgoblin. And we will attack Bebop and Rocksteady. Bebop and Rocksteady have no flyers. Oh yeah, they do. They do have a flyer. Yipes. That's okay. I don't think Bebop and Rocksteady want to block with that flyer anyway, because it's generating tokens for them. And we do stand to lose that flyer as well if we try to block with Typhoid or with Michelangelo and the insect for Typhoid Mary. Also on the attack for Typhoid Mary, we did discard a card, so we get to choose one. Let's create a treasure token. I think Bebop and Rocksteady are going to let the damage through this time round, so that'll be for, 7. And Dr. Doom will pass the turn to... Well, will he pass? Let me check my hand. Yeah, we're going to pass the turn. So we're going to untap Upkeep Draw for Bebop. And we're going to draw into Michelangelo Game Master. We're going to tap 3, 1 being a green, to cast Michelangelo Game Master. So at the beginning of our end step, if a permanent left the battlefield under our control, it's going to put a +1 counter on Michelangelo. Let's go to attacks. So I think we're going to attack with Bebop and Rocksteady. Doom is still more of a threat than Azula right now, so let's attack Doom. And we're going to sacrifice the Insect Warrior on attack. And I think we're just going to attack with Bebop. You know what? We'll attack Doom with Bebop and Rocksteady. And we'll attack Firelord Azula with Lord Dreg. So Azula has no blocks and will take 3. Doom does not want to block. Well, he does want to block, but he doesn't want to lose Doom right now. So we'll take the 7. That's 14 commander damage. Well, 14 commander damage total. So we'll go to the end step. We've got 2 triggers. Lord Dreg will trigger, and we're going to create an... because a permanent left the battlefield, we're going to create an Insect Warrior. And Michelangelo will trigger. Because the permanent left the battlefield, we're going to put a +1 counter on Michelangelo, where weirdness to 11, we will put an extra +1 counter on it. And that'll be that for Bebop and Rocksteady. We're going to pass to Firelord Azula. We're going to get a Lion Vulture. I think we're going to play an island. And we'll be passing the turn again. So we will go to Doom, who will untap Upkeep and draw into Canyon slow. We're going to play the Canyon. It's going to come into play tapped. And then I think we're going to tap our Thought Vessel and 4 other lands to play the Cosmic Cube. So it's got Ward 2. Whenever you attack, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may cast a spell from among them with mana value less than or equal to the greatest power among attacking creatures you control without paying its mana cost. We're going to put the rest on the bottom of our library in a random order. So we're going to go to combat. So we're going to... I think we're going to target Typhoid Mary again with the Connive. So we'll start with that. She has Menace as well. We're going to go to... a Soul Ring. I think we're going to discard Titania. And we're going to put a +1 counter on Typhoid Mary. Hobgoblin will also trigger on the discard and get +2/+0 till end of turn. Geez, Bebop and Rocksteady are getting scary quick once again. I need blockers too, though. I think we're going to attack with Typhoid Mary only this time against Firelord Azula, because I want to make another treasure token. I just want some mana. More mana. More. So I'll do that. I'm going to keep Hobgoblin back. We can't afford to be hit by Rocksteady and Bebop. If we get hit one more time by them, it's game over by commander damage. So yeah, just Typhoid Mary's going to attack. Because we did discard a card, we're going to create another treasure token. So on the attack as well, we're going to look at the top 6 cards. We've got Electro's Bolt, Captain America's Shield, Leader Supreme, Super Genius, Coastal Peak, Fetid Pools, and Vulture Scheming Scavenger. So we need one with the mana value less than or equal to the greatest power. We got power of 5 going at Azula here. So we get to cast that without paying its mana cost. Honestly, I want to cast Leader. But I need to get rid of Lord Dreg. Or somebody. So I'm going to cast Electro's Bolt. And we're going to target Lord Dreg, Insect Invader. So we can do 4 damage. And get him off the board. Stop giving Bebop and Rocksteady things to sacrifice. Bebop and Rocksteady does have a manhole cover, but doesn't have enough to cast it. So, no responses. Lord Dreg gets removed. And Azula's taking 5. I think now we're going to tap the Sulphur Falls. And we're going to play Soul Ring. Tap for 2 generic. We will pass the turn to Bebop and Rocksteady, who will untap, upkeep, and draw into a forest. I think we're going to play the forest. Then let's pay 2. And we will cast Regrowth. So we can return target card from our graveyard to our hand. And we're going to return Lord Dreg. I think we're going to tap 3, 1 being a green. And we're going to cast Study the Classics. So we're going to put a +1 counter on target creature, targeting Michelangelo Game Master. Then we're going to double the number of +1 counters on it. And we gain life equal to the number of +1 counters on that creature. So we're going to put a +1 counter on it, and Weirdness to 11 will trigger, and put another one on it. Then we're going to double the counters, and Weirdness to 11 will trigger because we're putting more counters on it. And he'll get an extra. And then we're going to gain life equal to the number of +1 counters. So Bebop and Rocksteady will be gaining 9 life. I think we will have... Let's give Doom a break for a second. We'll use Bebop and Rocksteady to attack Azula. And by break, I mean we'll attack him with Michelangelo, the Game Master. We had to sacrifice the Insect Warrior on attack. So Azula has no blocks. We'll take the 7. Meanwhile, Doom will use Hobgoblin to block with. And that's it for Bebop and Rocksteady. They will pass the turn to Azula, who will draw into the White Lotus hideout. Azula is going to play an island. And then I think we're going to tap 6 mana, 2 of them being black. So X is equal to 4. And we're going to cast Day of Black Sun. So each creature with a mana value of 4 or less, because we paid 4 for the X, loses all abilities until end of turn, and we're going to destroy those creatures. So essentially we're destroying Typhoid Mary, Dr. Doom, Michelangelo Weirdness 211, Game Master, and Bebop and Rocksteady. Unfortunately, she has no more mana. So we will be passing the turn to Doom, who will untap, upkeep, and draw into Imposter Syndrome. There isn't a whole ton of stuff. I think what we're going to do is, I do want to cast that Imposter Syndrome, but I think I'm going to wait till the next turn. So for now, I'm going to tap maybe the Soul Ring and the Thought Vessel. And that'll give us 3. Then we're going to tap Swamp Mountain and Island, and we're going to recast our commander, Dr. Doom. So we're going to go to combat. He'll connive, targeting himself. So we'll draw into a mountain. And we're going to discard Carnage, Crimson Chaos. So we'll put a +1 counter on Doom, but he can't attack because he's got Summoning Sickness. In our second main, we are going to tap a red and a black. And we're going to cast Carnage, Crimson Chaos from our grave because he has Mayhem. He was discarded there this turn, so we get to cast him for his Mayhem cost. He's got Trample, and when Carnage enters, we're going to return target creature card with a mana value 3 or less from our grave to the battlefield, and it has to attack each combat if able, but when it deals combat damage to a player, we're going to sack it. So I'd like to bring out Typhoid Mary, but instead I'm going to bring out Hobgoblin. Because the plan is, he can't attack this turn, thank goodness, because we're past combat step. So we're not going to lose him. I'm hoping I can bring out the Imposter Syndrome and make a ton of these guys. Well, maybe not a ton. Let's start off with one at a time. That's it. So we're going to have to pass the turn to Bebop and Rocksteady, who will draw into a swamp. I think we're going to tap all 6 of our mana, 2 of them being green. And we're going to cast Ground Chuck and Dirtbag. So it's an 8/8 with Trample. And whenever we tap a land for mana, we're going to add a green. Well, that's all we can do there. So we'll pass to Azula, who will draw into Clone. We're going to play the White Lotus Hideout. And then, sadly, we don't have enough to bring out multiple creatures, and we have no red, so we still can't bring out Azula. So we're just going to have to tap 3 islands. All 4 islands. Sure, we'll tap all our islands. And the White Lotus for 5. And we're going to bring out Edia Kramer. So cards we own that aren't on the battlefield have flash, and each opponent can cast spells only anytime they could cast a sorcery. Actually, I'm going to change that to the Blue Spirit. So we'll untap one of our lands. Forget we tapped a 5th. We'll untap one of our islands. Bring in the Blue Spirit. The first creature spell we cast each turn, we can do as though they had flash. And whenever a non-token creature you control enters during combat, draw a card. So part of the reason why I did that was because I'm not sure the interaction here. Each opponent can cast spells only anytime they cast a sorcery. We've got the Cosmic Cube on the board. So we look at the top 6 cards of our library on attack, and we can cast a spell from among them with a mana value less than or equal to the greatest power among attacking creatures we control. But that would be during combat. Technically, anytime we can only cast a sorcery is during our main phases. So I'm not sure, would that shut down the Cosmic Cube or would it not? I have to look it up, and I'm using my phone for recording right now, so I can't. If you know, please let me know. I think the Cosmic Cube would still go off, and this wouldn't shut it down, but if it would, that would be kind of cool. So I think we're just going to pass to Doom, who's going to untap, upkeep, and draw into Unstable Experiment. I think we're going to play a Mountain. And then we're going to tap our Soul Ring and Thought Vessel for 3. And then we will tap an Island, Sulphur Falls, and a Swamp for 3 more, 2 of them being blue. And we will cast our Imposter Syndrome. Whenever a non-token creature you control deals combat damage to a player, we're going to create a token that's a copy of it, except it isn't legendary. So we are going to go to combat. We're going to connive. I think we are going to who are we going to target for our connive? Let's target Carnage, because Carnage has Trample. So we'll give Carnage Menace, and let's connive. So we'll draw into Stark Industries. And you know what? No +1 counters this round. We're going to get rid of Stark Industries, and we're going to deal 2 damage to each opponent. So I have to attack with Hobgoblin, who will disappear at the end, but we'll get to create a token because of Imposter Syndrome. Hobgoblin gets +2/+0 till end of turn because of the discard. We'll be attacking with Carnage. I don't think we're going to attack with Dr. Doom. We're going to hold Dr. Doom back for whatever reason. We just feel like it. Yeah, so let's attack with those 2. And I think we're going to go after Bebop and Rocksteady. We have a feud going. So Bebop and Rocksteady can't block Hobgoblin. Carnage has Menace, can't block him either. So they will take 7. So we're going to have 2 triggers happen, all from Imposter Syndrome. So we will create another token of Hobgoblin. And I guess we have 3 triggers. Let's do the Hobgoblin trigger first. Let's do it. Whenever a non-token creature you control deals combat damage to a player, we're going to create a token that's a copy of it. So let's create a token of the Hobgoblin Mantled Marauder, except it isn't legendary. Hobgoblin itself also has a trigger. When this creature deals combat damage to a player, we're going to sack it. And Carnage has a trigger as well, so we can bring back a creature. I'd like to bring back Hobgoblin again, but I don't think we can because the Imposter Syndrome trigger, I'd like to go first so that Hobgoblin doesn't just disappear. Okay, so this is what we'll do. We'll create a token of Hobgoblin. I'm going to put a purple dice on him so we know it's a token. And he's not a card anymore, because the card will be in the grave. I'm going to put a yellow dice to tell you how many carnages there are, one of them being the real card, the rest being tokens. And when carnage comes into play, or this copy of a carnage, we're going to return Typhoid Mary Fractured, because she's mana value 3 or less, from our grave to the battlefield. And she has to attack each combat. But when she deals damage to a player, we got to sack her. So I think now we're going to... Oh, we forgot about our Cosmic Cube trigger. So we're going to look at the top 6 cards, and we could put something with a mana value of 4, or we can cast something with a mana value of 4. So let's cast Chameleon, Master of Disguise, and it'll become a copy of Dr. Doom. And I think what we're also going to do is we're going to tap 2 black, 2 others, and sack our 2 treasures for 6 mana in total. And we're going to cast Dr. Doom. So when he enters, we're going to create 2 3/3 colorless robot villain artifact creature tokens named Doombot. As long as we control an artifact creature or plan, he has indestructible, and at the beginning of our end step, we draw a card and lose a life. I don't have any Doombot tokens, so we're going to use these dice. I'll put them on 3 to let us know that it's 3 toughness, and we've got 2 of them. And they're going to sit over in the corner there. So I guess we're going to pass the turn to Bebop and Rocksteady, who will draw into Bebop, Warthog Warrior. So because of Ground Chuck and Dirtbag, we can tap a land for mana. Whenever we tap a land for mana, we add a green. So we're going to get 1/2. We're going to tap these 3 lands, 1 a black, and then 5 green. And we're going to use 5 of them to cast Bebop, Warthog Warrior. It's got Menace. Rhinos you control have Menace. Then we're going to tap these 2 for 3 green and a black. And we're going to use the last floating one. So we've used 5 altogether to recast Bebop and Rocksteady. So we'll go to attacks. I think we're going to attack with Ground Chuck and Dirtbag at Dr. Doom. A Trampler for 8. I don't think Dr. Doom's going to be blocking. Oh, well, he'll block with Dr. Doom. Just the plain old Dr. Doom. Because he's got indestructible. So that way we only take 5 damage. And I'll be passing the turn to Azula, who will draw into May, Scornful Striker. So I think we're going to pay or tap a black and 3 blue, and we will cast the Lion Vulture. So it's got flying. At the beginning of our end step, if an opponent lost life this turn, we're going to put a +1/+1 counter on this creature and draw a card. I think then we're going to go to combat. Unfortunately, if I attack anybody, they'll be able to block or kill the blue spirit. So in combat, as I have priority, I am going to flash in. I will pay 2, black and a blue. Or, well, not that it matters. Let's do a black and White Lotus Hideout for generic. And we're going to cast May, Scornful Striker. So she's got first strike. Whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, they're going to lose 2 life. And I guess we're going to be passing the turn to Doom, who will untap, upkeep, and draw into Sadistic Slash. I think we're going to go straight to combat. So, Connive. So we've got Chameleon, who's Dr. Doom, King of Latveria, and we've got Dr. Doom, King of Latveria. So we're going to connive twice, give menace, so let's target both of our carnages, the copy and the non-copy. So the first connive is an Arcane Signet. And I think we're going to put Sadistic Slash in our grave to give the first Carnage a +1 counter. And we will connive again. Abomination, World Ravager. We will also put that in our grave. Or in our discard. For a +1 counter. So I'll put the +1 counter beside the dice that says 2, so we know both of them have +1 counters. If they were different, I would put different yellow dice on there representing each one. So what's interesting is Sadistic Slash, which went into our grave, is an instant. It's got Mayhem. So we are going to tap 1 black and our Thought Vessel. And we will cast Sadistic Slash on Bebop and Rocksteady. Bebop and Rocksteady will go down after they get -5/-5. So I will tap the attackers. I think I'll send both Carnages at Bebop and Rocksteady. We're going to send Hobgoblin. I think we're just going to go all out. Hobgoblin. So there were 2 discards. So the token Hobgoblin we have gets +4/+0 till end of turn. And let's send Typhoid Mary. Typhoid Mary's gonna... Let's send Typhoid Mary at Azula. It doesn't matter who we send it at. She's gonna be blocked and killed. But on attack, Typhoid Mary, I think we are going to do the third one this time. Each opponent loses 2 life and we gain 2 life. Now, one trigger that I forgot to do when it happened is when we cast Sadistic Slash, May, Scornful Striker will go off. We cast a non-creature spell, so we're going to lose 2 life. So, because both Carnages have Menace, Bebop can't block him. And Hobgoblin coming in the air can't be blocked because he has no flyers. So we're looking at 10 plus 5. We're looking at 15 damage on Bebop and Rocksteady. A few triggers will happen. Hobgoblin won't trigger Imposter Syndrome because remember that was a copy. Typhoid Mary will die because she will be blocked by the Vulture, or let's say, no, maybe she won't die. She'll be blocked by the Blue Spirit. And one of the Carnages will trigger because it's a non-token creature. So we're going to create another Carnage. So let's create the Carnage. The Hobgoblin token stays in play. And let's, when we make the other Carnage, we're going to trigger that Carnage entering. So let's bring back the regular Hobgoblin. So I'll represent that with the yellow dice. Oh, and on attack, we look at the top 6 cards because of the Cosmic Cube. And we're looking at these 6. Our greatest power is 5 that we're attacking with. So no Doc Ock, no 10 rings, but we can bring in Ultron Unlimited. So in the second main, we're going to tap a mountain. You know what? We'll tap a mountain, swap, island. And we're also going to tap our Soul Ring for 2, so that's 5 altogether, 1 a red. And we're going to cast Abomination, because we did discard him this turn. So we can cast him for his Mayhem cost. So now we have a Menace, Trample, 10/10 on the board. And the turn will pass to Bebop and Rocksteady, who will draw into a swamp. We're going to play the swamp. I think we're going to tap 4 for 8 mana. We're going to bring back Bebop and Rocksteady. Then we're going to tap 2 for 4 mana, thanks to Ground Chuck and Dirtbag. And we're going to cast Lord Dreg Insect Invader. Now that Doom has Abomination World Ravager, it's going to make it a little bit harder. If we attack with Ground Chuck and Dirtbag, we're going to lose it. So maybe we will save it for now. Kind of stuck. I don't really know what to do at the moment. So we'll leave it. We'll pass the turn to Azula. See what we can draw into next turn. Azula will draw into Frantic Search. I think we're going to tap 3. 1 being a blue. We're going to cast Frantic Search. So we're going to draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. And then we're going to untap up to 3 lands. So we'll untap the lands that we used. Basically a freebie. So the 2 cards we're going to draw into are Shattering Spree and Jodie, One of Many. If only we had gotten some red land, we could use Shattering Spree on a bunch of Doctor Doom stuff, especially that Cosmic Cube. Although it has Ward 2, we could afford it. But that's not the case. So let's see what we can do here. I think we're going to tap 4. 1 being a blue for Clone. And we're going to clone the Lion Vulture. That way we could draw 2 cards, hopefully, on our end step. Then we're going to pay a black and a blue. And we're going to cast Jodie, One of Many. If for anything, having a creature out for blocking. We'll go to combat. I think we're going to send the Lion Vulture at Bebop and Rocksteady because Doom has Ultron as a flyer, although probably wouldn't care. You know what? Let's send the Lion Vulture at Doom. Screw you, Doom. If you want to lose Ultron, lose Ultron. Doom will pick no blocks because Doom has plans So Doom will take 2 damage. So let's go to our end step. At the beginning of our end step, if an opponent lost life this turn, we're going to put a +1 counter on this creature and draw a card. So both our Lion Vultures will get +1 counters, and we'll get to draw a card each. So we will draw into Dockside Extortionist and Azula Cunning Usurper. So no red lands. Boo. So I guess we'll be passing the turn to Doom, who will draw into Smoldering Marsh. Oh, I think last turn I forgot to do Dr. Doom's other thing. And draw a card and lose a life. So we'll kind of do that now. And we'll draw into Loki the Deceiver. It's not a May ability, so nothing crazy really happened. But losing that life might be significant. I think we're going to go directly to combat. So we have... we're going to attack with Ultron Unlimited. We're going to attack with... we're not attacking. Okay, let's go to the beginning of combat first. So... we have a Connive trigger from Dr. Doom at the beginning of combat, and Chameleon, because he is Dr. Doom. And we're going to target both Hobgoblins, 1 each, to give each 1 menace. So let's do the first one. We're going to draw into 2 evil to stay dead. And I think we're going to discard a Smoldering Marsh to do 2 damage to each opponent. That would actually be 4 damage. 4 life that they lose, because Chameleon is Doom, so the loss of 2 life triggers twice. We are going to do our second Connive on the other Hobgoblin. Madame Hydra. And we're going to discard Madame Hydra and give that non-token Hobgoblin that will die when it does damage. We'll give it a +1. Not because I wanted to give it to that one, but because that was the one that was triggering that. So... right now, the Hobgoblins have +4/+0 till end of turn. And they have Menace. So I'm going to cast... boo. Let us cast... we're going to tap the Thought Vessel. And we're going to tap an island. And we're going to be casting Unstable Experiment. So we're going to draw a card. And then we're going to have Ultron Unlimited Connive. So we're going to draw into Metalwork Colossus. And for the Connive, we're going to get J. Jonah Jameson. And we're going to discard the Metalwork Colossus, putting a +1 counter on Ultron Unlimited. So for attacks, we are going to attack with both Hobgoblins. Both got, one's a 7, one's an 8. And they both have Menace. So Bebop and Rocksteady have only 1 flyer, can't block it. So it looks like they'll be dead. Actually, we'll send only 1 Hobgoblin, the one with the +1 counter at Bebop and Rocksteady. We're going to attack with Ultron Unlimited to Azula, the other Hobgoblin to Azula, and the Abomination World Ravager to Azula. So on attack, though, Ultron will trigger, and we will connive. So we're going to get construct a cosmic cube. And we're going to discard construct a cosmic cube. And we're going to put a +1 counter on Ultron Unlimited. I forgot about the Ultron Unlimited triggers. Whenever we connive, we could pay 1. If we do, we create a 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token. So we're going to tap the Soul Ring. We would have 2 floating. We would use 1 for each connive from the Dr. Dooms. I'm going to use tap a mountain for the connive from the Unstable Experiment. And for this time around with the Ultron's connive, we will pay 1. So we can create ourselves, if I didn't forget, we would create ourselves 4 robot villains. So that was 4 discards. So the Hobgoblin with the +1 counter going at Bebop and Rocksteady is +8/+0. So it's going to do 10 damage. It's got Menace. Lord Dreg can't block it because of the Menace, and nobody else has reach or anything. So Bebop and Rocksteady are out of the game. Meanwhile, we've got... Probably could have just attacked with everybody, really. Oh, an Unstable Mutation would have done... Did I take the 2 damage? Let's give the 2 damage to Dr. Doom. Because of the May Scornful Striker trigger. Well, let's just attack with who we've attacked with. We do have a Lion Vulture that could block a flyer. So the Lion Vulture could block the 1 Hobgoblin. But then we'll be taking 10, 14. Wow, 14 from Abomination. Really, we could attack with everybody. But what if they had a countery spell? All they have is 1 blue land. So they're not playing Fog. Well, let's just play it out. We'll do the 14 damage to him. We're not going to block the Trampler because no point. We'll block the Hobgoblin. And that would be the non-token one. The other one, who's a non-token Hobgoblin attacking Bebop and Rocksteady, will disappear at the end of turn, going back into the grave. And we will create another token. Oh no, we're going to create a token of the Abomination as well, though. And a token of Ultron Unlimited. Okay, so... It looks like... So the 1 Hobgoblin, its trigger went off, and we had to sacrifice it after it did damage. Went back to our grave. We made another token of it, though. The Imposter, because of Imposter Syndrome. Imposter Syndrome also went off, and when Ultron Unlimited hit, we created a token non-legendary of him. And when Abomination did damage, we made a token non-legendary token of him. So at this point, it would be wise to run away. At this point, we would probably concede, but I always like to play right to the end just in case I get something to turn the game around, which will not happen in this case. So I think Doom will pass the turn to oh, we can still cast some stuff. The only problem with casting things is if somebody does end up getting a board wipe, if you lay down your whole hand there, you can end up losing everything, and then it's really hard to climb back. So it's always wise to save stuff. Like, I would like to bring out Loki the Deceiver, because then we get to make copies as we're attacking, and they'll go away at the end, but still that copy's awesome. I'd like to bring out J. Jonah Jameson. We could create more treasure. We can give another creature menace. But if a board wipe was taken, or somebody had drawn it, then I'd lose everything and it would be hard to get back. So even though it looks like you're on top, sometimes you gotta watch it. So we'll pass to Azula, who will untap, upkeep, draw into Fire Navy Trebuchet. I think we're going to... We didn't draw board white. So I think this is it for Azula, but let's play something. We're going to tap for 3, 1 being a black. We're going to take out a Fire Navy Trebuchet. It's got Defender and Reach. Whenever you attack, create a 2/1 colorless construct artifact creature token with flying named Ballistic Boulder that's tapped and attacking. Sacrifice the token at the beginning of the next end step. We're going to go to attacks. We're going to attack with the Lion Vulture because it looks like we're tapped out on the fly. Oh, no, he's still got a Hobgoblin. But you probably don't want to lose that Hobgoblin, do you? So we're going to attack with the Lion Vulture. And when we attack, we're going to create a 2/1 colorless flying boulder. I think Doom's going to let him through for 5 altogether. And in the second main, we're going to tap a Swamp and Jody, one of many. So we're going to survey 1. Oh, look, a Swamp. We're going to put that in our grave. And then we're going to sack an artifact or creature. We'll sack our Ballistic Boulder, and we'll create a... well, we got to create a token that's a copy of the creature first, then sack something. So we'll create a token, and then we'll sack the Ballistic Boulder. Okay, well... That's about it. We go to our end step. We're going to put a +1 counter on Lion Vulture and draw a card. We'll be drawing into Jody, Public Servant. And I guess we're going to be passing the tomb. Yes, the tomb. We're going to be passing the turn to Doom, who will draw into Parker Luck and will untap. So, I think I'm going to cast, or pay 3, 1 being a black, to cast Parker Luck, because I think this card is funny. I like it. At the beginning of our end step, 2 target players each reveal the top card of their library. They each lose life equal to the mana value of that card revealed by the other player. Then they each put the card they revealed into their hand. Now, if we don't kill Azula with combat damage, which we will, the Parker Luck could probably take care of the rest. It depends. If we hit a land, no. But most of anything else in this deck, yeah. So we go to combat. We can swing with... we got the 2 Connive triggers from Chameleon and Dr. Doom. So we'll start with Ultimate Green Goblin. Let's target Hobgoblin for both our Hobgoblins, each one, for a menace, and for a menace and our Connive. So we're going to draw into Ultimate Green Goblin. I think we're just going to discard that and put a +1 counter on one of our Hobgoblins. And for the other one, it's going to be Command Tower. We're just going to get rid of that and do 4 damage, and that's game. Well, Azula didn't have very good luck that game. I don't know where all of my red mana went. It's like it was eaten or something. Or it's at the bottom of my deck somewhere. Anyways, well, that was a good play test. It looks like Doom won this one. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.